still, the fact that you're going back to him after that is very interesting, because where were your values then? They were there for the altar. Were we lied to? Did Joey get a good edit? We're going to 9 seasons. When is it gonna stop? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena, and today we are talking about the Love is Blind Season 8 reunion. This was actually one of the best reunions in my opinion, as far as addressing things and getting to the bottom of questions that we as viewers want to know. I didn't see everything that I wanted to see. I didn't get all the answers that I wanted to get. However, it seems like they are kind of listening to the comments about Love is Blind reunions and actually addressing some of the controversies that happened, a lot of the questions that viewers had. Let's dive right into it. This reunion also marks the 5th year reunion of Love is Blind. They did the top 5 unforgettable moments. I'm just going to give you all 5 right now. They would do an unforgettable moment and then talk about one of the participants in Love is Blind and then do another unforgettable moment. Spoiler alert, you will be upset on what was ranked numbers 1 through 5. Starting out with number 5, this moment was the Megan Fox comment when Chelsea from Love is Blind Season 6 asked Jimmy from Love is Blind Season 6, has anyone ever told you you look like a celebrity? And then she claims that she got comments saying that she looks similar to Megan Fox. She doesn't see it. Or I guess she didn't even say Megan Fox, she said MGK's wife, I think, which, girl. I mean, I'm not trying to stereotype, but you live in the US. You would likely hear about Megan Fox before you would hear about MGK. How could you not know Megan Fox at this point? I don't even watch like Fast and Furious, but she was on Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Yes, I will find an excuse to bring up Mary-Kate and Ashley. I love them. Megan Fox was also in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. I think Chelsea and I are in similar age ranges, I think. But still, describing her as MGK's wife is insane. I think that's where she lost a lot of people, like, what? Number 4 was Garrett's hair from the Season 7 reunion. Garrett was the guy from last season, Season 7. We just casually brushed over the fact that he thought Taylor was being calculated because he didn't think that she could be anything else other than white, and we just casually brushed that over because they ended up getting married. That's who Garrett is. And he also doesn't want to move to San Francisco where Taylor's family is because his family is where they're at in DC. However, Taylor was very adamant about moving to San Francisco in the pods with everyone that she came into contact with, so that's who Garrett is. I do like his hair. He did go from that faux hawk. I don't know, I feel like that faux hawk looking thing doesn't really accentuate the shape of his head, so his new hair definitely helps the shape of his head for sure. But yeah, I'm surprised that was such a big vote. There were a lot of different options to vote from. I don't know all of them, but I'm just surprised that was number 4. Number 3 was Jeremy being with Sara Ann and lying to, I forget her name, but lying to his fiance. So Jeremy was at the bar with Sara Ann, who he is not engaged to. His fiance, I'm just gonna put her name here, but his fiance was at home sleeping. Jeremy came home, but fiance was waiting for him and was like, where were you? I saw your location. And Jeremy lied a bunch of times. He said that he and Sara Ann were talking in the parking lot for hours, but fiance saw his location at Sara Ann's apartment. That was pretty messy. I'm not gonna lie. Number 2 should have been number 1. Lauren and Cameron's reveal. This was just magical. I feel like that was the whole reason why everyone fell in love with this show. And keep in mind that this show was aired during 2020. You know, people are at home, they're locked in, sad, but that was just annoying to me. Why aren't they number 1, and why weren't they featured in this reunion at all? They haven't been in a lot of reunions, which I know is some of their decision, but even couples that were not successful on this show, like, they still had some sort of cameo, so that was kind of disappointing. And then number 1 was Jessica from Season 6. When she tells Jimmy off, Jimmy basically breaks up with Jessica, and she says, once you see what you missed out on, you are going to need your EpiPen. You're gonna choke when you see what you missed out on. That was it. And then we also had a video of Jessica at the end stating that she didn't realize that moment would be voted number 1. She's so grateful for all the love, and that you should always stick up for yourself and know your worth. Because she got a lot of heat for that. A lot of people said that she only said that because she thinks she looks better than Chelsea, the girl who said she looks like Megan Fox, essentially. So that was messy. Anyways, Those were the top 5 unforgettable moments. In the reunion, we catch up with our only married couple, and that's Taylor and Daniel. They're doing well. Since we know they love Christmas, they were asked about Christmas, and unfortunately, Daniel's mom, she was diagnosed with the form of leukemia. Thankfully, she's cancer-free, but she's waiting on a transplant now. It was ironic because Taylor's family member also works at the same hospital that Daniel's mom received treatments from. Daniel's dad was able to stay with Taylor's brother so they could be in the same vicinity since they could go to the same hospital. So that was really cool. I feel like both of their families just meshed really well. They were there for them. And that's just sad because, you know, they love Christmas so much. It's their first Christmas together, and having family hardships, that could either make or break a relationship, and it's good that they were able to work together and the families came together. There was some weird stuff though. So Daniel got a tattoo of Taylor's eyes, and initially when I heard that, I thought it'd be cute, just like, you know, a couple eyeballs, you know how like cat eyes or something. Daniel took a picture of Taylor, cropped out her like this whole part of the picture, so a rectangle of her face, and put that on his chest right here. So can you imagine? I saw all the comments and people are like, that would make everything so awkward in so many situations. Like, not even on a sexual level, but yes, I can imagine on a sexual level. If he's swimming with Taylor and their families and it's just there, and then, I don't know, you face your partner more than you are faced away, so like she would be staring at her eyes a lot if she really wanted to. That was interesting. I don't know, but I mean, they love each other. Yeah. Devin and Virginia. So we are getting into some really juicy stuff. Head on, headstrong. Virginia mentioned that she does not feel comfortable talking about Devin's values and his political beliefs, but she's very happy to be adamant in sharing hers. And what's classy about Virginia is that she mentions things that she believes in, and that basically tells us that Devin disagrees with everything that she listed. Virginia mentions how she believes in gay rights, she believes in pro-choice, she believes in respecting all religions, she believes in same-sex marriage. She mentions that she has a very diverse group of family members and friends that we saw at the wedding, and she said she wants to protect Devin, but she's uncomfortable in sharing what she knows about him. Devin responded and said, I don't understand how it couldn't work out, because even though we had 2 differing views, people are in relationships all the time with 2 different views. I think he was seriously downplaying it like he normally does. Then it came out that Virginia saw a letter from an ex-girlfriend on his hotel nightstand. This ex-girlfriend apparently is one of Devin's best friends. Virginia met this lady before, but she did not know that they used to date. Virginia only knew that the lady was an ex-girlfriend when Devin's mom said something. So Devin's mom is actually spilling all the tea. Devin's mom was the one to tell Virginia about that check that he did not let anyone know about. Also the one to say, hey, that girl used to date Devin. Shout out to Devin's mom for saving Virginia. In a way. Although I did not like it when Devin's mom said to Devin after they were at the altar, and she said, I thought Virginia wanted to be married. Mrs. Buckley, you have a lot of things to find out about your son, and this is just me going by off of what was edited in the show. About that check, Virginia mentions that the mom was the one to tell Virginia about the check, and he still has not brought up the check to this day. It's been a year. So the fact that Devin hasn't brought up the check this whole time is crazy. I think my theory is right. Virginia just kind of let Devin put his foot in his mouth. In a way, she kind of tested him, but she didn't start the investigation, or she didn't plant seeds to see what he would do. Things just kind of fell into Virginia's lap, and she wanted to see how Devin would handle it. And when he still didn't mention the check, even to this day, it makes sense why everything happened the way it happened. Virginia mentions how she hasn't had love or respect in the past year. She says after the wedding that she tried to call him for the first week. He didn't respond. Devin said, you ghosted me, and she's like, that's not true, I still tried. Virginia also mentions that for Devin's birthday, she bought him hundreds of dollars of gift cards to his favorite places, which is so generous. I think she got him like balloons and decorations. She asked him to help her bring something downstairs. I guess he was hesitant about it, and once he did help her, he said, "You could have got it." And I think that's an example of how the little things give you the bigger picture. He wasn't interested in helping her just in some simple everyday task. It sounded like just to carry something downstairs. He wasn't interested in sharing the fact that they got a wedding gift, which was cash. Someone said on TikTok, they were like, Devin was mad about that prenup, so when he got that check, whatever cash he got before the wedding is what he came into the marriage with, so that's his. Which is really funny to me. Virginia did mention that Devin did not answer her phone calls, and Devin was saying how, because every time we talk on the phone, there's always an altercation. Virginia was like, I never ghosted you. Molly and Madison even called Devin out and said, yeah, you did say you ghosted Virginia. You said that when we saw you at the bar. And then Devin said that Molly and Madison were drunk, and they were the one coming up to him, asking him about his business, which, I mean, honestly, that's kind of normal. However, I feel like he was trying to dismiss them and saying they were drunk. That also deflects, and I think it's true. I think he said that Virginia ghosted him. Then eventually Devin deflected and said we can move on from this conversation. I feel like the Lachey's move on once the person is uncomfortable, so they moved on. Ben and Sara. This was very interesting. Ben acknowledges his privilege and said he's embarrassed about how he talked about those issues regarding Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ+. Then he gives kudos to Sara about starting those conversations. Then Nick Lachey asked Sara, he said, if you knew going into this, because in the pods she already asked about Ben's values, why did you accept his proposal? Which is tea, because that is true. You already knew. So did you just say yes so you can get screen time? Or continue this performative activism skit? What was it? Sara said that she accepted the proposal because she knows people can change, and she thought that Ben would have that curiosity. Whatever. Then Ben gets asked about not knowing his church's stance about LGBTQ+, which was very interesting because, of course, he forgets everything, right? Ben says that even though this sounds very sad out loud and he's learning, he didn't know his church's stance because he didn't have anything relevant in his life that would relate to that, so he had no reason to ask his church about their stance on LGBTQ+. Which is not true, because if you remember when Sara meets Ben's friends, one of the ladies says she's gay. So Ben is saying because Sara has a sister who is gay, that's how she was introduced to learning about the issues with equality and acceptance. That was a cop-out to me, and also a lie because we met one of your friends who said they are gay. But after that, we discussed what happened with Ben and Sara after their wedding, and apparently they were supposed to move in together. So remember how Sara is a nurse? She had a travel nurse contract for Nashville. The contract for Nashville was for 3 months. It would just be easier since Ben works remotely, so he could just go live with Sara, use the Wi-Fi at home, and then they'll be in the same city. Per Sara, they agreed to move in together. Ben was just going to keep his car in Minnesota. Sara was going to drive her car to Nashville, and then Ben would take a flight to Nashville, and Ben could just use her car, whatever. Sara was planning to have a home office set up for Ben. They had this plan, and they also had each other's locations shared on Find My Friends. Apparently on the day that Ben was supposed to take that flight to Nashville, he ghosted Sara. He basically didn't message her until the very end of the night. So the day that Ben was supposed to take that flight to Nashville, he removed Sara from the Find My Friends app, and he also sent her an apology. Sara describes it as 3 scripted apologies. She says that Ben reuses Sara's words and it just didn't feel genuine. It felt like it was made up. I guess after the apology text that they haven't talked for about a month and a half. Well, Sara was basically saying because of that whole situation, the TikTok about Ben from Andra makes sense because Ben just ghosts people and he's not a good communicator per Sara. Sara says that a previous Love is Blind cast member told Ben to be on good terms with Sara before the reunion. The Lacheys ask, like, who is it? And then Ben's like, I'm not gonna say, but they will be in the top 5 unforgettable moments, I bet. And then the Lacheys are like, okay, well, who? Ben declines to answer. Then they say, can you tell if it's a girl or a boy? They say boy. They still try to pry and ask who it is. Then Sara says it was Jimmy from Love is Blind season 6. So Jimmy told Ben to be on good terms with Sara before the reunion, so everybody looks good. They said to practice reunion questions, to rehearse. Thanks, Jimmy. Keep in mind, too, that Ben was supposed to be with Sara between 2 weeks to 2 months. So they had this plan. They were gonna be together for a while. And Ben said he didn't remember a lot. He didn't remember the apologies or whatever. I do have to question why Sara gave him a second chance at dating. Because in the weddings episode, it seemed like she was not into dating. She was worried about repeating the cycle. She seemed like she was adamant about her core values for the 50th time. So it seemed like she was finally breaking it off. Why are you asking him to move in with you at that point? You know, still, the fact that you're going back to him after that is very interesting, because where were your values then? They were there for the altar. But yeah. Let's move on. We're going to Jonica. We're going to Joey and Monica, but I guess that could be their couple name. Monica admits that they never said I love you to each other, and she says that she felt that way because Monica admits that they never said I love you, and she felt like he didn't show it. So why would she say that if she feels like she hasn't been shown that love, you know? She also says that she was embarrassed that she didn't see Joey was romantically interested, and when she was watching the show back, it was really hard because she would just be like, girl, he's not that into you. And that is kind of sad, actually. I think at least half of us, if not most, were fooled. I feel like Joey got a good edit. It seemed like they were giving best friends for a while versus a romantic relationship. I thought they looked good together. I don't know. But it does take a 180. I think Joey used Monica's jealous sister as an out for not wanting to be with Monica, when he could have easily said that they're just not compatible, or he's not attracted to her, or just they weren't a good fit. But instead, I feel like Joey seemed very stoic and acted like he didn't know what was going on. Joey said that a big reason was Monica's sister, and he couldn't get out of the friend zone with Monica. And he is kind of teary-eyed because I feel like Monica is respectfully calling him out, and you know he doesn't really feel vulnerable and emotional, and he's getting called out. And Joey's sisters are pissed. Every time Monica was talking, it looked like they were giving the middle finger, and then it looked like they were just like rolling their eyes when Monica was speaking. Monica mentions that a month ago she found out that Joey was sliding in the DMs of another cast member. When he was sliding in another cast member's DMs, it was the day after snow tubing. He slides into Madison's DMs and he says, loving the pink hair, wish we could have talked more, which Monica makes a good point. You're engaged and you are saying that to a different person that you used to date, because they used to date everybody. That's flirtatious. And if anything, if you wanted to talk to Madison because you wanted to get to know everyone in the pods, you should have done that in person there. And I think it's fine if you're like, oh, nice hair. Was it always pink? Or saying something like that. Like, that's a cool color. But don't be like, oh my gosh, I wish we could have talked more. Like that. And then Joey denies it. He was basically saying, you know, I like the pink hair. I basically said that. No. We knew what you were doing. So then Monica was saying how that really hurt her, and she eventually went up to Madison and asked her, hey, is this true? Because all the pod people, it seemed like they saw each other a lot at the bars in Minnesota. It really does seem like a small town. Apparently, Joey told Monica that Madison was coming on to him at bars, and Monica was fed up. She was like, I need to ask Madison and see what's going on. So she asked Madison, is this true? Madison says, no, what the heck? That is not true. I mean, yes, we used to date, but I am not reciprocating any of what Joey had said. Joey denies this whole thing. He denies saying that he likes Madison's pink hair and that they should talk more. Then he says maybe it was a joke. So Monica feels like she's been led on, and it was just pretty crazy. That was pretty much it. We get to Dave and Lauren. Apparently, Dave's sister is not there, which was so frustrating. Like, she was the only person that should have even been there that was not seen on Love is Blind. I have a feeling she's really mad. I don't know. Nick Lachey asked Dave, so what did your sister think about all this watching Love is Blind? Dave says she's really hurt. She didn't want me to get hurt or whatever. And Dave just wanted to be on TV. Why would you go on a show that experiments getting married after knowing someone for a certain amount of time? If you and your sister only agreed for you to just go to the pods, not get engaged, that's weird. Lauren says she's learned a lot emotionally and that she's more mature than Dave emotionally. Dave agrees. Apparently, Dave sent a kind text to Lauren about the situationship a couple of weeks ago. I guess he learned more about Lauren's sneaky link, and everyone knows that Lauren's sneaky link is trying to be on camera. He made his own Love is Blind portrait, whatever, and so Dave is finally seeing that Lauren was right and this whole thing was not a big issue. I think sending her a kind apology 2 weeks before is like, are you trying to patch things up before the reunion too, so you look better? I guess the sneaky link was lying to Dave's friends, and Dave's friends were telling Dave what they heard from Sneaky Link. Dave admits that over the past 2 to 3 weeks, that's where he changed his mind about the whole situationship thing. Dave gets asked if Lauren was the one that got away, and he's like, yeah, I mean, Lauren's amazing, she's great. And then Lauren's like, I don't believe that because he hasn't made the effort. If he believed that, he would have done that before we got here. Go Lauren. I do think Lauren was super nice to Dave still to this day. I mean, that lady has a lot of patience, and she's better than me. She's way less petty than I am, because she does address the fact that he's getting a lot of backlash, and she said, I don't think Dave's a narcissistic person. I don't think he's manipulative. I know he's getting a lot of backlash right now, but I will just say that. I'm like, you should have just let it ride, but it's fine. Dave also says that his family just didn't want to meet Lauren, which I think that's a lie. And he also said that he did give his sister the letter, and Lauren's like, when did you give your sister the letter? Because I know you did not. And some random lie, Dave said he gave her the letter, but I don't believe it. Molly gets asked about the whole Dave and Lauren situation and about her and her experience with Dave. She just said it's hurtful to see Dave's lies, because the way the show looked, it seemed like she was getting told that she's the number one. And she even said it was more than once that Dave said Molly was his number one. So she did feel hurt seeing the lies. And then that was pretty much it. We get to Mason and Meg, and this was very interesting. They show a little snippet of their own home reveal. They mention that they're best friends, and they tried dating a couple times throughout the year, so they're not dating right now. I think everyone's saying that they're still being intimate with each other. They're just not officially dating, which I don't know, that's not my business, but it is interesting. I want to know why it didn't work out. I want to know why they didn't full on become boyfriend and girlfriend, because they do look super close. There's a lot of this drama between Alex, Madison, Mason, and Meg. Alex and Mason are talking about Madison. Alex said Madison was 2 different people in the pods when she was dating him and Mason. Mason thought Madison was all in on him. Apparently she was saying, I'm excited for you to take me to Honduras. Mason wishes that he validated Meg a bit more in the pods instead of validating Madison. And Madison, I know she got a lot of heat. I think there were some things that I didn't agree with in the pods. That doesn't mean that I think she's a bad person. I think she handled herself very well in this reunion. She came with receipts, which I feel like there should have been a bit more better receipts, because these were like kind of vague. But I think she was able to address what she needed to address and not deflect. She still addressed things, but still put out important things that she needed to say. Madison wishes that Mason was a bit more honest, because she said that Mason and Meg had a better connection, and in Madison's eyes, she was kind of doing them a favor because she was breaking it off, and she thought that she was going to break it off sooner than Mason says, I'm committed to you. I guess Madison was also upset that everyone was asking why she was so upset that Mason took his words back. And she was basically saying, hey, we're in this experiment. We're dating multiple people. I'm allowed to be sad too. I did just break up with someone, so you can't speak for me. You don't know my emotions. So she did mention that she's just fed up with people doing that. I guess Madison and Mason met up at a bar. Mason apologized to Madison, and Mason also says that Madison asked him to come to the bar. And I guess Mason said he only apologized that he didn't see the red flags earlier. So this was kind of messy and blurry. Then Meg says, am I not allowed to be upset because I think I got screwed over out of this whole process? And Meg is basically saying that she didn't win out of all of this, which, I don't know, you can still win if you didn't get married. But anyways, Alex mentions how Madison is a little manipulative and she's 2 different people. Madison says, hey, we are all dating 2 people at the same time, and you are different with different people, which I kind of agree. Like, think about your past relationships. If you've had more than one, you might be 2 different people. You also connect on different levels. Apparently, Alex begged Madison to stay in LA with him. Alex said Mason is weird and didn't have friends, and Alex denies it. I don't know why Alex is on this reunion. It kind of bothered me because all of the allegations about him and SA, and I don't know. I know they're allegations. However, allegedly there were receipts allegedly, in that video with story time with Ricky. I just think Alex didn't even need to be there. I mean, we could have done that whole reunion without him. He only said like 2 sentences, so that put a bad taste in my mouth. Alex denies asking Madison to stay with him in LA. He says, "Didn't I break up with you to stand up for Mason?" Madison gets her really broad screenshots out. Madison says, "Alex said all the boys trust him with secrets, but he's gonna be nice now. I told you a lot of things in confidence." He also put 3 skull emojis and saying that Meg and Mason are dating now. Like, I'm dead about that, like I'm laughing, which does make sense. I feel like we still needed a lot more context than those bland screenshots, because Alex said, "I told you a lot of stuff that wasn't meant for other people to hear." Meg said that Madison lied, that she broke up with Alex, and then Madison says, "I did not do that. Also, Alex is not your friend Meg or your friend Mason. He talks shit about you all the time." We kind of just leave it at that there. I'm already tired of this reunion. Anyways, they do a sock bin challenge, so they had these Love is Blind socks. And then we get some exciting news. So AD from Love is Blind Season 6 and Ollie from Love is Blind UK come onto the screen, and we ask how they've been doing. And also, too, this is a hard launch on their relationship because we all have known that they are dating. They come out holding hands. That was cool. They ask AD what she's been up to. She mentions that she started a podcast, which I have been watching. It's called What's the Reality? They are on season 3 of The Perfect Match, and that airs this summer. And we see a little trailer for that. But we also see the proposal. So Ollie proposes to AD, and they've been engaged, and that was really sweet to see. Then we see the Minnesota Vikings wish the Love is Blind contestants good luck. The next season of Love is Blind is going to be in Denver, Colorado. When are we going to end these seasons? I mean, of course I'm going to watch it, but at this point, everyone just wants to be on TV, and I don't know. Maybe I won't watch it. I think we're over it. At least in the US. I mean, Love is Blind UK was good. I recommend watching that. I also watched Love is Blind Germany, and that was good too. Is it just the US? I don't know. We're on so many seasons. Like, Love is Blind UK only has 1 season. Love is Blind Germany only has 1 season. We're going to 9 seasons. When is it gonna stop? We see this interesting performance of a guy named Alex singing, and it seemed like some sort of music video, and people were dancing in the pods. I was so mad because I thought it was Alex Brown from this season's cast, but it was a similar look-alike person. Because we know Alex Brown actually sings. Anyways, he was singing, and then like people were acting like it was just like really moving them. It was awkward. I mean, I guess they asked better questions this time. I really miss the questions that come from social media and people in the crowd ask them. I guess we're washing our hands with this season of Love is Blind. What did you think about this reunion? Did you think that we got all of the tea that we needed? I really wish they pushed more about Dave and his sister, because it felt like we saw 3 episodes straight of him talking about his sister. We got robbed. Other than that, it was pretty okay. I could have gone without that musical performance. I feel like that was 2 minutes that we could have had asking Dave about his sister. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about Love is Blind, this whole season, this reunion. What do you think about Virginia and Sara talking to Devin and Ben after the altar? That is very interesting too, just because they were both strong about their core values. I really like Virginia a lot. I think she has a good head on her shoulders, but her still talking to Devin was very interesting. It seemed like they were trying to make it work for a second. What did you think about Joey and Monica? Did you think that Joey was being messy? Were we lied to? Did Joey get a good edit? Anyways, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to have a conversation. As always, like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here, and I will see you in my next video.